Since Diwali is approaching, it's important that you guys also ensure that your portfolio is ready for the Naya Saal and the Nayi Shurwaat. Let's call it the Diwali cleaning for your portfolio, where it's important that you keep your portfolio curated in such a way that it has the good performers, the great performers, and you try and exclude the duds out. How should you identify those duds? And what should you do once you've identified them? Should you sell them when they're already at a low price? All of these questions, I'm sure, are affecting your mind. So we've decided to bring on board today Lovaii Navlakhi, MD and CEO of International Money Matters. He will also, in fact, be answering all your questions and queries, so do keep them ready. We will take them forward on our Ask the Money Show segment. Mr. Navlakhi, thank you so much for joining in on the Money Show. We are often told that mutual fund investing is for the long haul. I mean, if you have a time horizon of 5, 6, 7, 8 years, that's when you should have an SIP. But what happens very often, or at least in the last 1 year, is there have been so many events that have taken place that have caused the NAVs of a lot of these funds to crack. So how often should one keep reviewing their portfolio?
Veena, great question. And I think that people sort of mistake the fact that mutual funds are for long term with saying that, whatever you've invested in, you should just stay put with that forever, I think the first and most important thing is the basis on which the investment was selected in the first place. So if you can take a sort of wow this Diwali that you will not, if you are investing for long term, if you are investing in any product for say a 3 to 5 year time horizon, what you should be looking at, even if you are looking at past performance, is for the past performance over the last 3 to 5 years and not the last 1 year. Unfortunately, the mess that you are talking about in the portfolio has got created because people have gone and overweighted themselves on small cap and mid caps because they had done extremely well when you started 2018, and therefore you decided to put a lot of money in them, but unfortunately they have fallen. So it's a good time at any point in time when you're looking at your portfolio to see if you had more money to invest, would you put money in that particular investment or not? And if the answer to that is no, then you definitely know that A, you don't have to add more money, but B, you need to then do a further deeper review saying, is this the time to exit or not? And really do not worry too much about having booked a loss if that particular investment does not have the potential. I think very often we tend to get stuck with, the fact that I'm going to book a loss. So,
Yeah.
but I think you need to look at the money in money terms, that if I took out that 90 rupees from the 100 I'd invested and I put it elsewhere, where is the best chance for that 90 to grow? If it's not in that existing product, then definitely look at it, removing it.
So, Mr. Navlakhi, when you look at your portfolio, what are the warning signs which tell you that, okay, something is wrong? There is something that needs to be excluded. Any common warning signs that one should, look out for in their portfolio?
Yeah, so one of course is when things start falling is when you really wake up and say, oh, is something wrong over here? But I think the more important thing is to look at the amount of risk that you can take in each component of your portfolio. So if you are, invested in, if you look at your entire portfolio and you will find that there's a very large proportion invested in small cap and mid cap category, then that itself is a risk, even if it's doing well. So just make sure that you are able to remove some of the emotional aspects of greed. When the portfolio is doing well, you want it to keep sort of growing faster and faster and more, and say I will only get out at really the very top. But I think it is important for you to be able to execute that. So warning signals are definitely overweighted in any particular category, or overweightage in any particular fund house or fund manager, and the performance itself.
So, Mr. Navlakhi, Diwali is a time when all of us get a lot of money as well from very generous relatives and family. Unfortunately, some of us are on the other side. We have to give money as well. But yeah, for the lucky ones and a majority of our youngsters as well out there, they do tend to get a lot of money from relatives, etc. So I mean, they would be, and I hope they are interested in kickstarting their investing journey, especially if they are young. What would you advise them in terms of, when someone is just kickstarting their investment journey, what should be the first step that they should take so as to, ensure that they don't have any duds in the portfolio?
Yeah, so I think obviously the selection is important, but the first step is that when I get a sort of windfall, which is, I got a gift or I got something which I did not expect, then I think the important thing is to figure out what portion of that I really want to spend on myself or, blow up just to enjoy that moment, and let that be a very small proportion of that money. And the rest of the money I want to just put aside and imagine that that money did not come to me today. And therefore, then that money becomes your sort of capital that is available to invest for the long term. That's one very important thing. Obviously, for people who are sort of on EMIs or who have taken, credit card loans, then the first thing to do is to frankly repay that credit card loan. If they have other EMIs and they want to park aside part of this money towards some installment or some goal that they have in the next 6 to 9 months, and that's the other thing they should do. But park it away in a safe place. If you do work with an advisor, he probably suggests to you the right type of mutual fund for even 6 months and 9 months, not equity at all. So that's one thing. But if you're not working with an advisor, then putting that money in a bank deposit, again, one of the larger banks, please, with all the chaos that's happening with cooperative banks, etc., you have to be careful. Park that money aside so it's not available for you to spend. I think if you just get that one thing right, you are sort of on the way to, kickstarting your investment.
Well, I hope those golden words of advice have been absorbed by all our viewers watching out there. It is Diwali, and a lot of us will be getting a lot of money. So please do use that money wisely, however much tempted you are to splurge it off.